My stepdaughter cheerfully told her father I refused to buy her a prom dress after ruining her perfect one. He yelled at me for an hour about being jealous of a teenager. I stayed silent, but this morning I showed him the security footage of her cutting up the $600 dress I bought her last week, then texting friends that her evil stepmother would pay. I've been Avery's stepmom for 3 years now. Her mom left when she was 7 and basically forgot she existed. I mean, the woman just packed up one day and never looked back. No calls, no birthday cards, nothing. When I met Charles, Avery was 10 and honestly pretty closed off to the world. I genuinely tried to be there for her, you know? I wasn't trying to replace her mom or anything like that. I just wanted her to know she had someone in her corner. But from day one, Avery made it crystal clear I wasn't welcome in her life. Charles always said she just needed time, that eventually she'd warm up to me. So I waited. I gave her space when she needed it, tried to find little ways to connect without pushing too hard. There were these small moments that gave me hope, like when she'd actually ask my opinion on an outfit before school, or she'd come into the kitchen while I was cooking dinner and just start talking about her day, sharing some drama with her friends or complaining about a teacher. Those moments felt real, you know? Like maybe we were actually getting somewhere, but they always ended the same way, with her retreating back into that cold distance, like she remembered she wasn't supposed to like me. Then prom season came around earlier this year. Avery mentioned needing a dress kind of casually one night at dinner. I offered to take her shopping, fully expecting her to shoot me down like she usually did, but to my complete surprise, she actually said yes. She looked at Charles, then back at me, and was like, yeah, okay, that could be fun, I guess. That Saturday turned out to be honestly one of the best days we'd had together in 3 years. We hit 6 different stores, and she actually valued my opinion on stuff. Like, she'd hold up a dress and genuinely want to know what I thought. We laughed about some of the ridiculous options, the ones with too much sparkle or weird cutouts. We grabbed coffee between stores and she told me about her prom date, this guy named Tyler, from her chemistry class. It felt so normal, so easy. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it never did. When she tried on this emerald green dress at the 5th store, I swear time just stopped for a second. The color was perfect against her skin, and the way it fit her was absolutely beautiful. I could see her face change in the mirror, that moment when you know you've found the one. She turned to look at me with this uncertain smile. "What do you think?" she asked. "You look beautiful, Avery," I said, and I meant it with everything in me. "Seriously, you look absolutely stunning." She smiled, like genuinely smiled at me. "I think this is the one." The price tag was $600, which was way over our agreed budget of $350. Charles and I had discussed it beforehand, set a reasonable limit, but seeing her standing there, seeing that happiness on her face, something in me just decided this was worth it. This moment was worth every penny. "Let's get it," I told her. "It's your senior prom, and you look perfect in that dress." That's when she hugged me. It was the first real hug in 3 years. Not one of those stiff, obligatory hugs at holidays or when Charles was watching. This was real. Her arms actually wrapped around me, and she whispered, "Thank you, April. Really, this means everything." I paid with my personal card, not the joint account, and I kept it between us. I didn't tell Charles about going over budget because I wanted this to be our thing, you know? Driving home, she was so excited, talking about getting her nails done to match, about what shoes she'd wear. I actually let myself believe things were finally changing. That maybe after 3 years of trying, we'd turned some kind of corner. Last Tuesday, I came home early from work with this absolutely brutal migraine, the kind where light feels like knives and every sound is too loud. I took some medication and was heading to my bedroom when I walked past Avery's room. Her door was slightly open, and I could hear her voice. So, I figured she was on the phone or something. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop, honestly. I just heard her laugh, and something about it made me pause. "It actually worked," she was saying, and she sounded so pleased with herself. She totally fell for the bonding thing. You should have seen her face when I hugged her, like she won the freaking lottery or something. I froze right there in the hallway. My heart literally dropped into my stomach. A different voice came through her laptop speakers. One of her friends, I guess. "Wait, so how much did she actually spend?" $600, Avery said, laughing. "For a dress I'm about to destroy, but she's so desperate for me to like her. It was honestly too easy. Anyway, watch this." I pushed the door open wider. Avery was sitting cross-legged on her bed, her laptop propped up in front of her showing a video call with 2 other girls, and in her hands were a pair of scissors. The emerald green dress was spread out across her lap, and as I watched, completely frozen, she deliberately cut a jagged line right across the bodice. "What are you doing?" I gasped. Her head snapped up. For half a second, I saw her real face, the smirk, the satisfaction. Then, like flipping a switch, tears appeared in her eyes. Actual tears, just like that. "Get out of my room," she screamed at me. "You're destroying your dress," I said, and I could hear how shaky my voice was. "Avery, what is happening right now?" "Whatever. It's just a stupid dress anyway." She glared at me through those fake tears. "You can buy another one, right? Isn't that your thing? Buying my affection?" I didn't know what to say. I literally couldn't process what I was seeing. So I just walked away, went to my room, laid down in the dark with my migraine exploding behind my eyes, and tried to make sense of what just happened. But here's the thing Avery didn't know. About 6 months ago, we'd had some break-ins in our neighborhood. Nothing major, just some garages getting hit, cars rifled through, that kind of stuff. Charles got paranoid and installed security cameras around the house, inside and out. One of those cameras is positioned in the upstairs hallway, and when Avery's door is open, it catches part of her room, just the corner where her bed is. I pulled up the footage on my phone, my hands actually shaking as I scrolled back to that afternoon, and it was all there, crystal clear audio and video. Avery laughing about manipulating me, talking about how desperate I was for her approval, how easy it was to play me, the cutting of the dress, making it worse and worse. And after I left her room, she kept going. She cut that dress into absolute ribbons, way beyond anything that could be explained as an accident. Then she carefully folded the destroyed dress and placed it in her laundry hamper. The audio picked up her voice clearly as she said to her friends, "Now I just tell Dad that April ruined it in the wash or something. She'll totally believe it was an accident, and he'll believe me over her. He always does. Then she'll have to buy me another one, and I'll have her right where I want her." This wasn't just teenage rebellion. This wasn't acting out or being difficult. This was calculated, planned manipulation, and I'd walked right into it. The next day, my phone started blowing up with texts from Charles around noon. He was at work, but Avery had apparently called him from school, crying her eyes out. I didn't even read all the messages before he called me directly. "Did you seriously ruin Avery's prom dress?" he demanded. "No hello. No how are you? Just straight to the accusation." "Charles, that's not what happened," I said carefully. "We need to talk when you get home." "What's there to talk about?" "She's devastated, April. She found her dress completely destroyed in the laundry. She said when she asked you about it, you told her she should have been more careful and that now she'd just have to miss prom. That is absolutely not what happened. I never said anything like that. So she's lying? My daughter is just making this up? I'm not having this conversation over the phone. Come home. I'll show you exactly what happened." But Charles was already wound up. "I'm coming home now," he said, and hung up. He burst through the door maybe 20 minutes later, his face red, still in his work clothes. Avery must have really sold it on the phone because I'd never seen him this angry at me. Like, we'd had arguments before, normal couple stuff, but this was different. This was protective father mode activated to the extreme. "How could you do this to her?" He started immediately. "This is her senior prom, April. Do you understand that? One of the biggest nights of her life, and you destroyed it because what? You're jealous of a teenager? Charles, I need you to listen to me. Jealous that she's young and beautiful and has her whole life ahead of her? Is that what this is? That's not. Or is it because for one day she actually opened up to you and you couldn't handle it? You had to sabotage it?" He went on for an hour. Every insecurity I'd ever had about not being Avery's real mom, about her never fully accepting me, about being an outsider in their family, it all came pouring out of his mouth. He questioned whether I'd ever really tried with her, whether I'd ever actually wanted to be her stepmother, whether I resented the time he spent with her. It was brutal. Each word felt like a knife. I let him finish. I didn't interrupt, didn't defend myself, just sat there and took it, because I knew that anything I said right now wouldn't matter. He was in full protection mode, and logic wasn't going to work until he calmed down. Finally, when he ran out of steam, when he'd said everything he apparently needed to say, he slumped into the chair across from me. "I just don't understand how you could be so cruel," he said quietly, and somehow that hurt worse than all the yelling. I pulled out my laptop from where I'd left it on the coffee table. "Before you say another word," I told him, keeping my voice steady, "I need you to watch something." I turned the screen toward him and pressed play on the security footage. I'd already queued it up to the right timestamp. He leaned forward, confused at first. Then his expression started to change as he realized what he was watching. The color drained from his face in about 30 seconds flat. He watched Avery laughing about manipulating me. He watched her deliberately cut up that dress, piece by piece. He heard her plan to blame me, heard her say he'd believe her over me because he always did. I let the whole video play, didn't say a word. When it finished, he just sat there staring at the screen. "Play it again," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. So I did. He watched it twice more without speaking, and I could see him trying to reconcile the daughter he thought he knew with the girl in that video. "I need to think," he finally said, standing up. He grabbed his keys and walked out, didn't tell me where he was going. I heard his car start and watched through the window as he drove away. I didn't hear from him for the rest of the day. Avery came home from school around 3:30, all smiles like nothing was wrong. She didn't know her dad had come home, didn't know he'd seen the video. She went straight to her room, and I heard her on the phone with friends, laughing about how well her plan was working. Charles didn't come back until almost midnight. I was still awake, sitting in the living room in the dark. He sat down next to me and just put his head in his hands. "I don't know my own daughter," he said. "How did I not see this?" "She's good at hiding it," I offered. "That's not an excuse. You tried to tell me, April. So many times you tried to tell me something was off, and I just shut you down. I called you paranoid. I said you were imaging things. You were trying to protect her. I was being a shit husband." He looked at me, and I could see he'd been crying. "I'm so sorry. Everything I said today. I can't take it back. But God, I'm sorry." This morning, I woke up to find Charles already awake, sitting at the kitchen table with a folder in front of him. He'd printed out screenshots from the security footage, had them all organized chronologically. When I asked what he was doing, he just said, "We're confronting this today. No more waiting." Avery came downstairs around 9, cheerful as anything. She started talking about prom again, about getting her nails done this weekend, about which shade of green would match the new dress I was apparently going to buy her. She had this whole plan worked out in her head. Charles let her talk for about a minute, then he cut her off. Avery, sit down. We need to talk about your college fund. Her smile dropped instantly. Something about his tone made her nervous. What about it? He pulled out his phone and set it on the table between them. Before we get to that, I need you to listen to something. He pressed play. Avery's voice filled the kitchen, but she wasn't talking to her friends this time. She was talking to someone else. Someone I didn't expect. If I can make April leave, you said you'd come back for me, right, Mom? My stomach dropped. Her mom? The one who'd supposedly forgotten she existed? Avery's face went white. Where did you get that? Answer my question, Charles said. How long have you been talking to your mother? I don't have to tell you anything. The hell you don't. How long, Avery? She crossed her arms, defiant. Since last year. She reached out on Instagram, said she made a mistake leaving, that she wanted to fix things. And what did she tell you to do? Avery's jaw tightened. She knew she was caught, but she wasn't ready to give up. She didn't tell me to do anything. She just said that if it was just me and you again, we could be a family. A real family. Charles's hands were shaking as he scrolled through his phone. I've been working on it for months, Mom. He read aloud, playing another clip. I convinced April to take me dress shopping. Played nice all day. She actually bought me a $600 dress. Now I'm going to destroy it and blame her, just like you said. Then Dad will see what she's really like. Stop. But Charles kept going. There's more. Want to hear the part where you tell your mother how you put soap in my coffee to make me sick so I'd miss work? Or the time you convinced April's sister that April was talking badly about her, just to cause drama? Should I play those too? Avery stood up abruptly, her chair scraping across the floor. You don't understand. You don't know what it's been like, having her here, pretending to be my mom. April has never once tried to replace your mother, Charles said. She's been nothing but patient with you. She stole you from Mom. If she hadn't come along, Mom would have come back. Your mother left us, Avery. She left you. April didn't steal anyone. That's not true. Avery was crying now. Real tears this time, not the fake ones she could summon on command. Mom said she only left because things got hard, but she wants to come back. She wants us to be a family again. Charles looked at me, then back at Avery. Your mother is manipulating you, sweetheart. She doesn't want to come back. She's using you. You're lying. You're both lying because you want to keep me away from her. The recording continued, revealing months of planned manipulation. I heard Avery's voice talking about making me look bad at family gatherings, about spreading rumors at school that I was abusive, about planning to accuse me of hitting her if the dress thing didn't work. Each revelation was worse than the last. And through it all, her mother's voice was there, encouraging her, giving her advice, telling her exactly what to do and say. Charles looked at me with this devastation in his eyes, this complete brokenness. I didn't protect you, he said quietly. I chose her over you every single time, and I didn't protect you. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to comfort him, but another part of me was still processing everything we were hearing. 3 years of trying, 3 years of hoping things would get better, and it had all been a game orchestrated by a woman who'd abandoned her daughter 7 years ago. Avery was sobbing now, harsh, ugly crying. You don't understand what it's like. I just wanted my mom back. I just wanted things to be like they were before. Before what? Charles asked. Before she walked out on us? Before she decided being a mother was too hard? Before she chose herself over you every single day? She made a mistake. People make mistakes. This isn't a mistake, Avery. This is manipulation. She's been manipulating you for over a year, teaching you to hurt the people who actually care about you. Charles stood up and walked to the folder he'd prepared. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling. I did some research last night, he said. Want to know what I found? He held up his phone, showing Avery her mother's Facebook page. I leaned over to look, and what I saw made my blood run cold. Post after post about reuniting with her family soon, about second chances, about fixing past mistakes. But scattered between those posts were pictures of her with a guy, someone named Brad apparently, with captions like, my child-free life, and so grateful for no responsibilities. Your mother has a boyfriend, Charles said flatly. He doesn't know about you. Look at this post from 3 weeks ago. See what it says? Brad asked if I ever wanted kids, and I said absolutely not. So grateful we're on the same page. That was posted the same day she sent you those texts telling you to sabotage April's relationship with her family. Avery stared at the phone, her face crumbling. No, that's not. She wouldn't. I have screenshots of everything, Charles continued, his voice hard. Her entire social media presence. You know what I don't see in any of these pictures? You. I don't see her visiting. Don't see her sending you gifts. Don't see her at your school events or your birthday. What I see is a woman living her best life without her daughter, while convincing that daughter to destroy her own home. Stop it, Avery screamed. She lunged for the phone, but Charles pulled it back. You need to see this, Avery. You need to understand what she's doing to you. You're making it up. You're just trying to turn me against her. Why would I make this up? Charles asked. If your mother wanted to come back, you actually wanted to be in your life, don't you think she would have shown up by now? Don't you think she would have asked to see you, to talk to you face to face? Avery didn't have an answer for that. She just stood there, shaking, tears streaming down her face. I want to show you something else, I said quietly. Both of them turned to look at me. I pulled up my own phone and opened a folder I'd created last night after Charles left. I did some digging too. I found your mom's Instagram, her Twitter, everything, and I screenshotted all of it. I showed Avery the posts. Her mother at fancy restaurants with Brad, her mother on vacation in Mexico, her mother at a wine tasting, posting about the perks of being child-free. Under one photo, someone had commented, "I thought you had a daughter?" And her mother had responded, "Had is the key word. That chapter of my life is closed." Avery snatched the phone from my hand, scrolling frantically through the screenshots. "When did she post this?" "2 days ago," I said gently. "But she told me. She said she was saving up money to get a place big enough for all of us. She said she just needed more time." "She lied, sweetheart," Charles said. "She's been lying to you this whole time." Avery threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor. "This is all your fault," she screamed at me. "If you had never come here, none of this would have happened. My mom would have come back, and we would have been fine." "Your mom left before I was even in the picture," I said quietly. "I met your dad 2 years after the divorce. This has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. You're trying to replace her, and that's why she can't come back." "Avery, stop," Charles said. "This is exactly what she wants. She wants you to blame April, to push her away. Because as long as you're focused on hating April, you're not seeing what she's doing to you." "I hate you both," Avery screamed. She grabbed a glass from the table and threw it. Charles caught it before it could hit anything. "I hate you, I hate you, I hate this house, I hate everything." She ran upstairs, and we heard her bedroom door slam so hard the walls shook. Charles sank back into his chair. "What do we do?" "I don't know," I admitted. "I honestly don't know. I need to talk to her mother, face to face." "Do you think that's a good idea?" "No," he said. "But I'm doing it anyway. She doesn't get to destroy my daughter's life from a distance. If she wants to play these games, she can do it while looking me in the eye." He pulled out his phone and started typing. I watched as he sent a text to a number I didn't recognize. "Meet me at the house tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you're not here, I'm sending all of these recordings to your parents, your siblings, and Brad. Your choice." "You have her number?" I asked. I never deleted it. Figured if there was ever an emergency with Avery, I'd need a way to contact her. Never thought I'd be using it for this. His phone buzzed almost immediately. "She's coming," he said, reading the response. "And she's pissed." "Of course she is." "Good. Let her be pissed. I'm done protecting her feelings." The next day, I was a nervous wreck. Charles had called in sick to work, and Avery had locked herself in her room, refusing to come out. At exactly 2 p.m., there was a sharp knock on the door. Charles answered it, and there she was. Jessica, Avery's mom. I'd seen pictures, obviously, but seeing her in person was different. She looked exactly like I'd imagined someone who posts child-free life on social media would look. Designer bag, perfect hair, that expression of permanent annoyance. "Where's my daughter?" she demanded, pushing past Charles into the house. "Hello to you too, Jessica," Charles said dryly. "Don't start with me. You threatened me, Charles. Threatened to expose me to my family? Really? That's low. Even for you. You've been using our daughter as a weapon for over a year. I think threatening to tell people the truth is pretty reasonable." Jessica's eyes landed on me, and her expression turned to pure disgust. "So this is her. This is the woman who stole my family." "Hi," I said, because what else do you say in that situation? "Don't hi me. You have some nerve, you know that? Worming your way into my daughter's life, trying to replace me." "I never tried to replace you," I said calmly. "I just tried to be there for Avery." "Oh, please. You bought her love with expensive dresses and shopping trips. That's not being there for her. That's manipulation." The irony of her calling anyone manipulative wasn't lost on me. "Why are you here, Jessica?" Charles asked. "And don't say it's because you miss Avery, because we both know that's not true." "Of course I miss her. She's my daughter." "Really? Because your social media says otherwise. Want to explain the posts about your child-free life? The ones where you literally told people you don't have kids?" Jessica's face hardened. "I was protecting Brad. He doesn't want children, and I didn't want to scare him off with baggage from my past." "Baggage?" Charles's voice was dangerously quiet. "You just called our daughter baggage. You know what I mean." "I really don't think I do. Explain it to me." Jessica rolled her eyes, and in that moment, I saw exactly where Avery learned her manipulative behaviors. "Look, I made a mistake having a kid so young, okay? I was 23 when Avery was born. I wasn't ready. I tried to make it work, but it was too hard. So you abandoned her." "I didn't abandon her. I left her with you, her father." "That's not abandonment. You haven't seen her in 7 years. Because you made it difficult. You moved. You changed your number. I sent you the new address and number. You never used them." Jessica's jaw clenched. "Whatever. I'm here now, aren't I? Where is she?" "Before we get to that," I said, "I need you to explain something. Why have you been coaching Avery to sabotage our marriage?" "Excuse me?" I pulled out my phone and played one of the recordings. Jessica's voice came through clearly, telling Avery exactly how to make me look bad at a family dinner, which of my insecurities to exploit, how to fake being sick so I'd look like a bad stepmother for not believing her. Jessica's face went pale. "Where did you get that?" Avery recorded your conversations," Charles said. "She saved everything, actually. Wanted to prove to you she was doing a good job. You had no right to listen to those. You had no right to use our daughter as a weapon." Jessica stood up, grabbing her purse. "I'm not doing this. I'm leaving." "Sit down," Charles said. "We're not done." "Yes, we are. You can't keep me here." "You're right. I can't. But I can send every single one of these recordings to your mom, to your dad, to your sister who you're always trying to impress, to Brad." He held up his phone. "I have his Facebook right here. Should I message him now?" or do you want to sit down and have an actual conversation? Jessica sat down slowly, fury radiating off her. You wouldn't dare. Try me. For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then Jessica said, "What do you want from me?" "The truth," Charles said. "Did you ever plan to come back for Avery?" Jessica was quiet for so long I didn't think she'd answer. Finally, she said, "No." The word hung in the air like a bomb. "Then why?" I asked. "Why string her along? Why make her think you were coming back?" Jessica shrugged, and it was the most callous gesture I'd ever seen. Because Charles deserved to suffer. He moved on so fast after I left, found someone new, made this whole new life. I wanted him to be miserable. "So you used Avery to do it," Charles said flatly. "I gave her purpose. She was desperate for my attention, desperate to prove herself to me. I just gave her a way to do it." "You're sick," I whispered. "I'm honest," Jessica shot back. "Unlike you, playing the perfect stepmother, trying to buy a child's love. At least I actually love her," I said. "Can you say the same?" Jessica's eyes narrowed. "Avery is difficult. She always has been. Even as a baby, she was exhausting. Crying all the time, needing constant attention. I tried, okay? I tried to be a good mother, but she made it impossible. She was a child," Charles said, his voice shaking with rage. "She was your child. And being her mother was the worst 7 years of my life," Jessica snapped. "There, that's the truth you wanted. I hated being a mother. I hated the responsibility, the lack of freedom, the constant needs. Leaving was the best decision I ever made." "Then why contact her again?" I asked. "Why not just stay gone?" "Because watching Charles be happy with someone else made me sick," Jessica said simply. "I wanted him to suffer the way I suffered, and Avery was the perfect tool to make that happen." I heard a gasp from the hallway. We all turned to see Avery standing there, her face white as a sheet. She must have snuck downstairs when she heard her mother's voice. "Avery, you weren't supposed to hear. You lied to me," Avery whispered. "You said you loved me. You said you wanted to be a family again. I do love you, baby. I was just upset. I didn't mean. You called me exhausting. You said being my mother was the worst 7 years of your life." Jessica's face cycled through several emotions before landing on defensive. "You were eavesdropping. You heard that out of context." "What context makes that okay?" Avery asked, and her voice broke. "What context makes it okay to say your daughter made your life miserable?" "Avery, listen to me." "No, I'm done listening to you." Avery turned to Charles and me. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know she was—" "We know," I said gently. But Avery wasn't done. She looked back at her mother, and I saw something shift in her expression. "You used me," she said. "All those things you told me to do, making me spy on April, making me sabotage their relationship. You didn't care if it hurt me. You just wanted them to hurt. That's not true." "Yes, it is," Avery screamed. "It's all true. You never wanted me back. You just wanted to make Dad miserable." Jessica's mask finally cracked. "You know what? Fine. Yes. I never planned to take you back. You want to know why? Because kids ruin everything. They ruin your body, your freedom, your relationships. I gave you 7 years of my life, Avery. 7 years of hell. I think I've done my time." "Get out," Charles said quietly. "Gladly. I'm done with this circus." "No, I mean get out and don't come back. You're done having access to Avery. You're done manipulating her. Done using her as a weapon. I'm filing for full custody officially, and I'm getting a restraining order." Jessica laughed. "On what grounds?" "Emotional abuse. I have recordings of you coaching a minor to engage in manipulative and destructive behavior. I have evidence of you deliberately trying to sabotage a stable home environment for your own petty revenge. I have enough to bury you in court, Jessica. Good luck with that. No judge is going to keep a mother from her daughter. They will when they hear these recordings," I said. I'd been recording the entire conversation on my phone, including the part where you admitted you never loved her and called her exhausting. Jessica's eyes widened as she realized what I'd done. "You bitch. Get out of my house," Charles said again, stepping between Jessica and Avery. "Now, before I call the police and have you removed." Jessica grabbed her purse, her face twisted with rage. "This isn't over." "Yeah, it is," Charles said. "It's been over for 7 years. You just didn't want to accept it." Jessica stormed toward the door, but stopped when she saw Avery. "You'll regret this," she said. "When you're older, you'll realize I was right. Kids ruin everything, and you'll wish you'd listen to me." Then she was gone, the door slamming behind her. Avery stood frozen in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry," she kept saying. "I'm so sorry." Charles pulled her into a hug, and she collapsed against him, sobbing. I stood there, not sure if I should join them or give them space. But then Avery reached out a hand toward me, and I took it, and the three of us just stood there in the hallway, holding each other while Avery cried out 3 years of manipulation and pain. I didn't waste any time. The second Jessica left, I sat down at my computer and started sending. Every recording, every screenshot, every piece of evidence I'd gathered went to her parents first. Her mom, her dad, her 2 siblings. I included a detailed email explaining what Jessica had been doing, how she'd been using Avery as a weapon, what she'd admitted to in our living room. Then I sent everything to Brad, found his Facebook, his Instagram, his LinkedIn, made sure he got the full picture of who he was dating, the woman who told him she didn't have kids while actively manipulating the daughter she'd abandoned. Within an hour, my phone started buzzing. Jessica's mother called Charles, crying and apologizing. She'd had no idea Jessica had even been in contact with Avery, let alone what she'd been telling her to do. She was horrified, kept saying she'd raised her better than this, that she didn't understand how her daughter had become so cruel. Jessica's dad sent a long text saying they'd be cutting Jessica off financially until she got help. They'd been supporting her lifestyle apparently, paying her rent, giving her money for her expensive habits. That was done now. Her sister posted on Facebook a long statement about how she couldn't condone Jessica's behavior and needed to distance herself from her for a while. The post was vague enough that most people probably didn't know what it was about, but Jessica would know. And Brad went nuclear. He posted screenshots of our conversation on his own social media, tagging Jessica in every single one. Called her a liar and a manipulator, said he'd been deceived, that she'd told him she'd never been married and had no kids. His friends and family rallied around him, telling him he'd dodged a bullet, that he deserved better. Jessica's carefully constructed new life imploded in less than 3 hours. She tried calling Charles, screaming about how we'd ruined her life, how we'd turned everyone against her. He listened for about 30 seconds before saying, "You did this to yourself, Jessica. You made these choices. Now, you get to live with the consequences." Then he blocked her number. Avery heard the whole thing from her room, where she'd locked herself in again. She hadn't come out since the confrontation with her mother, hadn't eaten, hadn't responded to our knocks on her door. Charles tried talking to her through the door, but she just told him to go away. By the second day, I was getting worried. She hadn't come out for meals, hadn't gone to school. I stood outside her door in the morning, listening, and I couldn't hear anything. No music, no phone conversations, nothing. "Avery," I called through the door. "Please, just let me know you're okay." Nothing. "I'm going to check the computer history," I told Charles. "Something feels wrong." I pulled up the family computer in the living room, the one Avery sometimes used for schoolwork, and what I found made my blood run cold. Searches for how much Tylenol to overdose, painless ways to die, what happens when you die, does it hurt to stop breathing? "Charles," I screamed. "Charles, now!" He came running from the kitchen. I showed him the screen, and his face went white. We both ran upstairs, and Charles didn't hesitate. He threw his shoulder into Avery's door, breaking the lock on the second try. Avery was curled up on her bed, her laptop open in front of her. She looked up at us with red, swollen eyes, and I saw her diary open on the screen. A digital one, apparently, one we didn't know about. "Get out," she said weakly. "Not a chance," Charles said. He sat down on her bed and I stood in the doorway, torn between giving them space and needing to make sure she was okay. "I wasn't going to do anything," Avery said. "I was just looking." "Just looking at ways to hurt yourself?" Charles asked gently. "I just wanted to know what my options were, in case things got too bad." "Things are bad now, sweetheart. Let me help." "You can't help. Nobody can help." Avery pulled her knees to her chest. "Everything is ruined. Mom doesn't love me. She never did. She used me to hurt you guys. And I let her because I was so desperate for her to want me. I destroyed my only chance at having a real family because I was stupid enough to believe her lies." "You weren't stupid," I said quietly. "You were a kid who wanted her mom. That's not stupid. That's human. I cut up a dress you spent $600 on. I tried to ruin your marriage. I was awful to you for 3 years. And you still try to be nice to me. Why? Why don't you just hate me? Because you're not the villain here, Avery. Your mom is. She manipulated you. She used you. She taught you these behaviors. You were 7 when she left. 7. She's been poisoning you against me since before you even knew what that meant." Avery started crying again, those horrible broken sobs. "I kept a diary," she whispered, "of everything Mom taught me to do. I wrote it all down because I wanted to make sure I did it right, so she'd be proud of me. I wanted her to be proud of me so badly." "Can I see it?" I asked gently. She nodded and turned her laptop toward me. I sat down on the other side of her bed and started reading. It was devastating. Entries dating back over a year, each one detailing a new manipulation tactic her mother had taught her. Mom says to make April look bad at Grandma's birthday by hiding in the bathroom and crying, then saying April yelled at me. She says people always believe the kid. Mom taught me how to fake being sick. Put the thermometer on a light bulb for exactly 30 seconds. April will feel guilty and stay home from work, and Dad will be mad at her for not believing me at first. Mom says I should tell Dad that April said I'm not really part of the family. He'll get mad at her and maybe they'll fight. Every entry was written in this childish handwriting, with little heart and flower doodles in the margins, like she was just taking notes in school. She'd been documenting her own manipulation like it was homework, trying so hard to get it right so her mother would love her. "Avery," I said, my voice breaking, "this isn't your fault. Do you understand me? None of this is your fault." I wrote it all down. I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I did it anyway. "You were being abused," Charles said firmly. "This is textbook parental alienation and emotional abuse. She groomed you to hurt us, and you were too young to understand what she was really doing." I showed Charles the diary, and I watched his face crumble as he read through the entries. This was his little girl, the daughter he'd raised alone for years, being systematically manipulated by the woman who was supposed to protect her. "We're getting you help," Charles said. "Professional help. Someone who understands this kind of thing. I don't need therapy." "Yes, you do. We all do, honestly, but you especially. What your mother did to you, Avery, that's not normal. That's not okay. And you need someone who can help you work through it. Someone who understands parental alienation. What if they can't help? What if I'm just broken?" "You're not broken," I said. "You're hurt. There's a difference." We spent the rest of that day talking, really talking, for the first time in 3 years. Avery told us about how her mother had first reached out on Instagram, how excited she'd been to hear from her, how her mom had slowly started planting seeds of doubt about me, about our family, how the manipulation had been so gradual that Avery hadn't even realized it was happening until it was too late. "She told me you were trying to erase her," Avery said quietly, "that you wanted to pretend she never existed, and Dad was letting you do it. She said if I didn't fight for her place in our family, I'd lose her forever. And you believed her because you were 10 years old and you wanted your mom." I said, "That's not your fault. The next few days were rough. Charles found a therapist who specialized in parental alienation, a woman named Dr. Reeves, who had great reviews and experience with cases like ours. He called and explained the situation, and she agreed to see Avery as soon as possible. When Charles told Avery about the appointment, she refused to go. "I don't need a shrink," she said. "I just need everyone to leave me alone." "That's not happening," Charles said. "You have an appointment on Thursday at 4 p.m. and you're going." "You can't make me." "Actually, I can. You're 17, I'm your father, and I'm making a parental decision about your mental health. You're going." Avery grabbed her jacket. "Fine, I'll just leave. I'll go to Mom's house. She'll take me in." "No, she won't," I said gently. "Avery, your mom changed her locks. She blocked your number. She doesn't want you there." "You're lying." "I wish I was. But she made it very clear the other day that she's done. She's moved on with her life, and you're not part of it." Avery's face crumbled. "She wouldn't do that. I know she was upset, but she wouldn't actually abandon me." "There's only one way to find out," Charles said. "If you really want to go, I'll drive you there. But when she doesn't answer the door, when she doesn't let you in, you need to accept that this is real, that what she said the other day was the truth. I'll walk there myself. It's 8 miles, Avery. In February. It's 30 degrees outside. I don't care." She stormed out of the house, and Charles grabbed his keys. "I'm following her," he said to me. "She can't walk to Jessica's in this weather, but I need her to see for herself." I watched from the window as Avery started down the street, her thin jacket not nearly warm enough for the cold. Charles got in his car and followed slowly behind her, keeping his distance but making sure she was safe. They were gone for almost 2 hours. When they finally came back, Avery was soaking wet from the rain that had started falling, shivering violently. Charles was supporting her weight as they walked up the driveway. I met them at the door with towels. Avery's face was blank, empty, like someone had just scooped out everything inside her and left nothing behind. "What happened?" I asked Charles quietly while Avery went upstairs to change. "She pounded on Jessica's door for 20 minutes, he said, in the pouring rain. I watched from the car. Jessica was home. I could see her shadow moving past the windows, but she never answered, never even looked out to see who it was. Eventually, Avery just collapsed on the doorstep and started sobbing. That's when I got out and brought her back to the car. "Oh my God!" She didn't say a word the entire drive home, just stared out the window. I don't think it really hit her until that moment that her mother actually doesn't want her. Avery came back downstairs in dry clothes, her hair still dripping. She walked right up to me, and for a second, I thought she might say something. Instead, she just collapsed into my arms, and I held her while she sobbed. This wasn't the fake crying from before, the manipulative tears she could turn on and off. This was real, raw grief, the kind that comes from having your heart completely shattered. "I'm sorry," she kept saying between sobs. "I'm so sorry for everything." "I know," I whispered, stroking her wet hair. "I know, sweetheart. It's okay. It's not okay. I was horrible to you, and you still care. Why do you still care? Because you're worth caring about, Avery. You always have been." She cried herself to sleep in my arms that night, curled up on the couch with her head in my lap. Charles and I sat there in the dark, not talking, just being there while our daughter processed the worst betrayal of her life. The next morning, when I mentioned therapy again, Avery didn't argue. She just nodded and said, "Okay." That first session with Dr. Reeves was brutal. She asked Avery direct questions about her mother, about the manipulation, about how it made her feel. Avery broke down 3 separate times, and each time, Dr. Reeves patiently waited for her to collect herself before continuing. After the session, Dr. Reeves asked to speak with Charles and me privately. "What Avery's mother did," she said carefully, "is a documented form of psychological abuse. She's been essentially programming Avery since childhood to view April as a threat and to sabotage her own happiness. This kind of parental alienation can have long-lasting effects, but with consistent therapy, Avery can recover." "How long will it take?" Charles asked. "That's different for everyone, but I'd recommend at least weekly sessions for the foreseeable future. Avery has a lot of trauma to work through." That became our new routine. Every Thursday at 4 p.m., Avery had therapy. Some weeks she came out looking lighter, like she'd processed something important. Other weeks, she came out looking worse, like the session had ripped open old wounds. But slowly, gradually, I started to see changes. Small ones at first. She started eating dinner with us again instead of taking food to her room. She asked about my day at work. She laughed at something Charles said. A real laugh, not a forced one. One night, about a month into therapy, Avery came into the kitchen while I was making dinner. "Can I help?" she asked. I tried not to look too surprised. "Sure, you can start chopping these vegetables if you want." We worked in silence for a few minutes, and then Avery said, "Dr. Reeves says I need to make amends, like actually apologize for the specific things I did, not just say sorry in general." "Okay, so I'm sorry for cutting up the dress, and for lying about it, and for all the other stuff I did to make you look bad. The thing with the soap in Dad's coffee, that was me. And I'm the one who told your sister you said her house looked cheap. I wanted to cause problems between you guys." "I know," I said gently. "Your dad told me about the diary." Avery's hands stilled on the cutting board. "You read it? Parts of it. Enough to understand what was happening. You must hate me." "I don't hate you, Avery. I never have." "How? How can you not hate me after everything I did?" I set down my knife and turned to face her. "Because I know you were being manipulated. I know your mother was using you, teaching you these things since you were way too young to understand what was really happening. You were trying to earn love from someone who was never going to give it to you, and that's not your fault. Avery's eyes filled with tears. I just wanted her to want me, you know? I thought if I could just make you leave, if I could get rid of you, then she'd come back and we'd be a family again. I thought I was fighting for my family. You were fighting for the idea of a family, I said. The family you deserved to have but never did. But Avery, the family you have now, here with me and your dad, that's real. We're not going anywhere. She nodded, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. I'm trying to believe that. Dr. Reeves says I need to work on trust, on believing that people can actually love me without conditions. We do love you, without conditions. Nothing you could do would change that. Even after I literally tried to ruin your marriage? Even then. We finished making dinner together, and when we sat down to eat, Avery actually engaged in the conversation instead of staring at her plate in silence. It was a small thing, but it felt like progress. About a week later, Charles came to me with an idea. I want to do something for Avery, he said. Something to show her we're committed to this, to us being a family. What are you thinking? Prom is in 3 weeks. I want to buy her a new dress. The same one, the emerald green one, if we can find it. I want to show her that we're not punishing her for what happened, that we're moving forward. Charles, that's $600. I don't care. She destroyed that dress because her mother told her to, because she was trying to earn love she was never going to get. I want to show her she doesn't have to earn our love. It's just there. She might not want it. It might remind her of everything that happened. Then we'll return it. But I have to try. I thought about it for a moment, then nodded. Okay, let's do it. We found the dress online, ordered it in Avery's size, and had it shipped overnight. When it arrived, Charles brought it to Avery's room. I have something for you, he said, knocking on her door. Avery opened it, looking confused. What is it? Charles held out the garment bag. Open it. She unzipped the bag slowly, and I watched her face change as she realized what it was. The same emerald green dress, the exact same one she'd destroyed. I don't understand, she whispered. Prom is in 3 weeks, I said, stepping into the doorway. You should go. You should have fun. You shouldn't miss out on senior prom because of everything that happened. I can't accept this. After what I did, you can and you will, Charles said firmly. This isn't a reward, Avery. This is us showing you that we're your parents, both of us, and we want you to have good memories. We want you to go to prom and dance with your date and have the night you deserve. But I don't deserve it. I don't deserve anything from you guys. Yes, you do, I said. You deserve love, you deserve kindness, you deserve parents who show up for you. You've been taught your whole life that you have to earn these things, that you're not worthy of them unless you're perfect. But that's not how love works. Real love is unconditional. Avery's hands trembled as she held the dress. I don't know what to say. Say you'll go to prom, Charles said. Say you'll wear this dress and have fun and be a normal 17-year-old for one night. Okay, Avery whispered. Okay, I'll go. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of prom preparation. Avery asked if I'd help her get ready. Actually asked, and I almost cried right there. We went and got her nails done together, found shoes that matched perfectly, picked out jewelry. It felt like that first shopping trip, but real this time, without the manipulation lurking underneath. The night before prom, Avery and I sat in her room while I helped her practice different hairstyles. She was quiet for a long time, then said, "Can I ask you something?" "Of course. Do you think Mom will ever change? Do you think she'll ever regret what she did?" I set down the curling iron and met her eyes in the mirror. Honestly, I don't know. Some people are capable of change, and some people aren't. Your mom has some pretty serious issues, and until she decides to get help for them, I don't think anything will change. What if she does get help someday? What if she tries to come back? Then we'll deal with it as a family. But Avery, even if she does change, even if she becomes the mother you always wanted her to be, that doesn't erase what she did. You get to decide if and when you want her in your life. Nobody can make that choice for you. I don't want her in my life, Avery said quietly. Is that okay? Absolutely. You get to protect yourself, sweetheart. You get to set boundaries with people who hurt you, even if they're family, especially if they're family. Avery nodded, then turned around to face me. Thank you for not giving up on me. When I was awful to you, when I did everything I could to push you away, you stayed. Why did you stay? Because I saw you, Avery. Not the manipulation, not the hurt you were trying to cause, but you, the real you, underneath all of it. And that person was worth fighting for. She hugged me then, and I held her tight, feeling like maybe, finally, we were getting somewhere real. Prom day arrived, and I spent the afternoon helping Avery get ready. We did her makeup together, curled her hair, got her into that emerald green dress. When she looked at herself in the mirror, I saw tears in her eyes. You look beautiful. I was supposed to destroy this dress, she said quietly. I was supposed to cut it up and blame you and ruin everything. That was Mom's plan. But you didn't. Only because you caught me. If you hadn't walked in, but I did walk in. And everything that happened after that, all the pain and revelations and processing that brought us here. To this moment, with you going to prom in this dress, being happy. I am happy, Avery said, sounding surprised. I didn't think I could be happy again after everything, but I am. Her date arrived at 6. A nice kid named Tyler who stammered over his words when he saw her. Charles took approximately 800 pictures, and I watched Avery smile for every single one. A real smile, one that reached her eyes. Just as they were about to leave, there was a pounding on the door. Aggressive, angry pounding. Charles opened it, and there was Jessica, drunk and furious. Where is she? Jessica demanded, pushing past Charles. Where's my daughter? You need to leave, Charles said firmly. You're not welcome here. She's my daughter. I have a right to see her. Jessica stumbled into the living room and saw Avery standing there in her prom dress. Her her face twisted with rage. So you're still playing dress up with that woman, Jessica spat. After everything I told you about her, you're still letting her manipulate you. You need to leave, Mom, Avery said quietly. Don't call me that. Don't you dare call me that after you chose her over me. I didn't choose anyone. You abandoned me. I didn't abandon you, Jessica screamed. I left because you ruined my life. Everything was fine until you came along. She lunged forward, grabbing Avery's arm. Tyler stepped back, uncertain what to do. Charles moved to intervene, but I was faster. I stepped between Jessica and Avery, pulling Avery behind me. Let go of her, right now. Or what? You'll call the cops? You'll destroy my life even more than you already have? Your life is destroyed because of your own choices, I said calmly. Now, let go of my daughter and get out of this house. She's not your daughter. She'll never be your daughter. You're right, she's not my biological daughter, but I'm more of a mother to her than you've ever been, because I actually love her. I show up for her, and I don't use her as a weapon to hurt people. Jessica's face turned purple with rage. She tried to push past me to get to Avery, and I shoved her back, hard. Charles, call the police, I said. Jessica, you have two choices. You can leave right now, or you can wait for the cops to remove you. Your call? You can't keep me from my daughter. Actually, I can. We filed a restraining order 3 weeks ago. You were served the papers at your apartment. You're not supposed to be within 500 feet of Avery or this house. Jessica's eyes widened. She looked at Charles, who was already on the phone with 911. This isn't over, Jessica hissed. You think you've won, but this isn't over. Yes, it is, I said. It's been over for 7 years. You just refuse to accept it. Now leave, before the police make you. Jessica looked at Avery one more time. You'll regret this. When you're older, you'll realize I was right about everything. The only thing I regret, Avery said clearly, is wasting so much time trying to earn your love. I'm done with that now. I have real parents who actually care about me. Jessica's face crumpled, but instead of sadness, I saw rage. She turned and stormed toward the door, but not before sweeping her arm across the entryway table, sending the decorative bowl and picture frames crashing to the floor. I hope you're happy with your new family, she screamed from the doorway. I hope you all burn. Then she was gone, speeding away in her car just as we heard sirens in the distance. Charles gave the police a statement, showed them the restraining order, explained what had happened. They took notes and said they'd file a report, that if Jessica violated the order again, she'd be arrested. Through all of this, Avery stood there in her prom dress, shaking. Tyler had called his parents, and they'd come to pick him up, the prom date effectively ruined. I'm so sorry, Avery said once the police left. This is all my fault. You bought me this beautiful dress, spent all this time helping me get ready, and now prom is ruined because of her. Because of me? This is not your fault, I said firmly. Your mother's choices are not your responsibility. But if I hadn't talked to her in the first place, if I hadn't believed her lies, then she would have found another way to hurt us, Charles said. This is what she does, Avery. She manipulates and destroys, but she doesn't get to have power over us anymore. We're done letting her control our lives. But prom starts at 8, I said, looking at my watch. It's 7:15. You can still go. I don't have a date anymore, so go with friends, or go alone. But don't let your mother take this from you too. She's taken enough. Avery looked down at her dress, then back up at me. Will you help me fix my makeup? I cried some of it off. Of course. I repaired her makeup while Charles cleaned up the broken glass from the entryway. By 7:45, Avery looked perfect again, and a group of her friends had agreed to pick her up. Have fun, I told her as she headed out the door. Text if you need anything. I will. And April, thank you for protecting me tonight, for always protecting me, even when I didn't deserve it. You've always deserved it, I said. Always. She smiled and headed out the door, and I watched her climb into her friend's car, watched them drive away toward prom, toward normalcy. Charles put his arm around me. You called her your daughter, he said quietly. I did? When you were talking to Jessica, you said, my daughter. I guess I did. How long have you thought of her that way? Probably since the day I met her, I admitted. I just didn't think I had the right to say it out loud. We went back inside and spent the evening cleaning up the mess Jessica had made, both literal and figurative. Around midnight, my phone buzzed with a text from Avery. Having the best time. Thank you for making me go. I'll be home by 1. She sent a picture of herself with her friends, all of them in their prom dresses, smiling at the camera. Avery looked genuinely happy. No manipulation, no pretense. Just a 17-year-old girl at her senior prom. She came home at 1:15, buzzing with excitement about the night. She told us about the music, the decorations, how Tyler had found her at prom and apologized for leaving, how they danced anyway. She talked for almost an hour before finally heading up to bed. As she reached the stairs, she turned back to look at us. I have therapy on Thursday, she said. Dr. Reeves wants to start talking about what happened tonight with Mom, about boundaries and restraining orders and how to process it all. That's good, Charles said. Yeah, it is. She hesitated, then said, I'm really glad I have you guys. Both of you. I know I didn't act like it for a long time, but I'm glad. We're glad too, I said. She went upstairs, and Charles and I sat in the quiet living room, processing everything that had happened. From the dress shopping to the manipulation to the confrontation with Jessica to prom, it felt like we'd lived an entire lifetime in the span of a few weeks. Do you think she'll be okay? Charles asked. Eventually, I said. It'll take time, and there will be setbacks. But yeah, I think she'll be okay. Over the next few weeks, Avery continued with therapy. She had good days and bad days, days where she seemed like she'd turned a corner and days where the weight of everything seemed too much. But slowly, steadily, she kept moving forward. One night, about a month after prom, Avery came downstairs and found me waiting up for her. She'd been at a friend's house, and I'd told her to be home by 11. It was 10:45. "You're early," I said, surprised. "Friend's parents had to be up early," she explained. She sat down next to me on the couch, and for a few minutes, we just sat there in comfortable silence. Then Avery said, "I've been thinking about something Dr. Reeves said in our last session, about starting over, about letting go of the past, and building something new. Yeah, I want to start over with you. For real this time. Not like before when I was pretending. I want to actually try to have a relationship with you. A real one." "I'd like that," I said. "I don't really know how to be a normal daughter," she admitted. "Mom taught me how to manipulate and lie and hurt people, but she never taught me how to just be, how to have a healthy relationship with a parent. We'll figure it out together," I said. "One day at a time." Avery nodded, then said quietly, "Dr. Reeves asked me what I wanted to call you. Like, whether I was comfortable with April or if I wanted something else." "What did you tell her?" I said I wasn't sure yet, that I'd been trained to think of you as the enemy for so long. I didn't know what felt right. She paused. "But I've been thinking about it, about how you've been there for me, how you protected me from Mom, how you never gave up even when I gave you every reason to." "Avery, would it be okay?" she interrupted, her voice shaking slightly. "If someday, not today, but someday I called you Mom?" I felt tears spring to my eyes. "You want to call me Mom?" "Not right now. I'm not ready right now. But someday, when I've worked through more stuff in therapy, when I'm healthier, I think I'd like to. If that's okay with you." "Avery, that would be..." I couldn't find the words. "That would be the greatest honor of my life." She smiled, and it was soft and genuine. "Okay then. Someday. Whenever you're ready," I said. "There's no rush. I'll be here." "I know," she said. "That's what makes it real." Make sure to click on the screen to watch other stories.